Hello, and thank you for purchasing the ODM gear blade provided by CYO Create Freely. If you want to check out more products like this, go to buycyo.com. And don't forget, you're going to want to have the handle segment of this project done prior to starting this one. So first you have the little baggie over here, and let's open this up and see exactly what we have inside. So first we have these little wrenches and some nuts and bolts, so we can put those to the side right now. We're not going to use those. Then we have this super glue that we're going to use, and then of course the little screwdriver that we won't need right now, but we'll need a little bit later. So we'll put that off to the side. And so now let's have a look at this giant blade vessel over here. So depending on the orientation that is sent, you might want to identify what is the top and the bottom. More importantly, you want to identify what is the top. The top is going to be the part with this little notch right here, and that part you want to place facing up towards yourself if you were to put it on a table. So then we can go ahead and take off this blue tape. We can just crumple it up, put it off to the side. I don't really care what you do with it. It's not a part of the sword. And the reason that you want to make sure that you keep the top on the top is because the transport vessel, the little black pieces, actually help you put the entire thing together. So once again, just making sure that rib is on the top. You can go ahead and pop it off just to see what we're working with here. And we have all the blades pointed, all the pointed parts up there at the top, with some slots and then that particular piece being flat. So then we can go ahead and mount that, make sure all of them are straight and settled. And then let's have a look at these little pegs over here. So these pegs, we can take off this rubber band, and these pegs are actually going to slot into a little hole area on the blades, and that'll be how we attach them together. And you don't really have to worry about the orientation of these. They can go in whatever way they fit is fine. So let's go ahead and grab the glue, take off the cap of that, and then also the nozzle. We're just after this little green ring right here. This thing just prevents the glue from getting all over the part in transport. So then we can go ahead and pop the nozzle back on. Make sure to really screw that on tightly so it pierces that little tin foil on the inside. Now we have a functioning glue. The glue's live, so then we can go ahead and just do a medium-sized bead along the interior of the blade. So you're aiming to get it as far into this the blade as possible, making sure that there's a minimal amount of spillover. Then we grab those pegs and we just slide those in, making sure that they're straight and that they're comfortable and they don't want to wiggle or move around. So then we can move on to the next blade hole, skipping the flat blade that you see there. And then just, a thin bead. You want to make this glue last as long as you can. And then go ahead and grab the next peg and slide that in. Again, making sure there's minimal wiggle or no wiggle ideally. And then moving on to the next blade, just repeating this process. Feel free to use the nozzle as a guide for the glue. The glue might not want to work with you sometimes, so this is a little bit of a learning process. So you can go ahead and take your time with this. This is not my first rodeo making these blades, so I get along with it pretty quick. And then you want to just, make sure that this glue makes it all the way through the blades. And you are going to want to be around halfway done with the glue by this point, because we still have to fasten the entire blade together. You still need a little bit of glue for the rest of the blade. So then now we want to just press up these all down firmly, make sure that they're all in there and set. But then after, we want to just let that dry, let the glue dry for 30 seconds to a minute. What you really are aiming for here is just to allow the glue to settle enough to where it has enough strength to hold itself together. Now, after we've let it dry for a minute, we can just go ahead and feel and make sure that they're all rigid and the glue has dried. Then we can go ahead and take out each piece. They should have a numbered sticker on them that indicates the order you should lay them out in. So you have 1, then 5 goes on the end, and then 4, and then 3. And then always make sure to keep your workspace clear. That's a lesson I have to learn pretty often, especially when I'm making these kinds of things. And then grab 2 and put that up so the point is facing on the right side. So then now you have them all lined up. You can go ahead and grab your glue once again, and you're just gonna want to start assembling in that order. So we'll grab 2, and again, you're just trying to get that thin bead down the center of the slot. It can be kind of difficult, so if there's ever any spillage like I have here, you can just go ahead and grab a napkin, or if you're like me, use your finger, swap away the bead, and then you can continue moving. So after you have 1 and 2 attached, then you can grab 3, do that thin bead down the center, try to keep, and then you just want to go ahead and slide that third one on, nice and easy. Making sure that all the edges are aligned, and also you can prop it up on a flat surface to make sure that everything is staying straight. Then you can grab that 4th one, again using that nozzle to help keep the bead inside of the slot. Put that one on right there. And then now all you have to do is one last piece, which is the top piece. So now that you have your last piece, you can just go ahead and use the remainder of the glue that you have. You won't be needing any more. Just do that one last bead down the center, clean it up if you have to, and then just align it and slot that last piece on in. Congratulations, you have completed the blade section of the sword. If you did it correctly, you should have everything glued together with the numbers going from 1 to 5, 1 being the bottom, 5 being the top. And what I would do is leave this on a flat surface and then just let it stay for 1 to 2 minutes, whatever you think. So like I said before, we're definitely done with that glue, so you can go ahead, put the cap on and toss it. And now we get to do the fun hardware part. So first, let's have a look at this screwdriver right here. And then we have these 2 wrenches and some nuts and bolts. So now we can grab our pre-made handle, put that to the side, and then let's have a look at these nuts and bolts. So these are gonna fasten the blade to the handle, and the ones that we're after are the 2 smaller nuts and bolts. So just pour out the baggie and just identify exactly the ones that we need. So we don't need that large one, we just need these. So then we can just put those down right here, and let's have a look at these little 3D printed wrenches. There are gonna be 2 of these, one that fastens the little grippy part to the handle, and then the other is to fasten the blade to the handle. We can tell which one we need just by the size of it, and the one that fits these nuts. So we don't need the larger one, we just need this smaller one. So let's grab our blade right here. Make sure that this thing is definitely dry before you do this. And then you just want to slide it in. It can be a bit difficult, but you're just gonna want to angle it and then slide it in the best you can, just like that. So then you're gonna want to grab your bolts and align those with the holes, and then you have to go through the arduous process of screwing both of these in. They do want to bite the sword a little bit, so they might actually have a little bit of resistance. That's fine, as long as the screw is going into the sword, you're on the right path. You might need to jiggle the sword or realign it, but otherwise you should be good to go. So once you've screwed those on, you can go ahead and grab your nuts. Just spin them on a few times. You won't be able to do them all by hand, but you can use the little wrench that was provided and the screwdriver to hold it, and then you're just going to want to screw that on. You can do one side or the other. I've found that it's the easiest to hold it with the screwdriver and then twist with the wrench. You really just want to tighten it to the point where it doesn't want to keep going. It may seem a bit tedious to do all of this hardware, but truthfully, if you're going to a Comic-Con or doing cosplay and you have it on your person all day and you're swinging it around and stuff, you really do want to make sure that this blade is securely attached. After that, your blade is good to go. You can go ahead and remove the stickers, and after that, this thing's ready to go. From a strength standpoint, this thing isn't the strongest. It is based in plastic, so it's the best for display or walking around and holding them, but it won't really do you much good in an actual sword fight. So I do not recommend that you go ahead and use this. Now that you're complete, we would like to say thank you for watching the tutorial of the ODM Gear Blade. We really hope you enjoy the sword, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.